The nights were always the hardest, the kind of quiet that clings to your skin, wrapping itself around your ribs until breathing becomes a conscious effort. You sat alone on the bed, dim light spilling from the lamp beside you. Leo's soft breath warmed your chest, his small arms loosely draped around your waist. He had fought sleep for over an hour, clutching the drawing he made for his father. He wanted to show it to Jungkook. He always waited. The call finally came. Your phone buzzed softly, the screen lightening up with Jungkook video call. You answered, tucking a few loose strands of hair behind your ear. His face filled the screen, tired but smiling, the kind of smile only meant for you. Hey, he said gently. God, I missed you. You tried to smile, but your face didn't quite manage it. You look exhausted. I am, but seeing you makes it easier to breathe. How is Leo? You chuckled lightly. Leo has been clingy. He raised a brow. More than usual? You nodded. He misses you. Jungkook softened. I miss you both more than I can put into words. I know. You said quietly, adjusting Leo's position so he wouldn't wake. His eyes lingered on your face. How is everything? Really? Everything is fine. You replied with practiced ease. You had become good at this. Too good. You sure you have got that tone? You smiled faint and fragile. Just tired, that's all. Long day. He leaned his head back against the hotel pillow. You don't have to be strong with me all the time. You looked away. It's not about being strong. It's just, I know how much pressure you are under. I don't want to add more pressure I can take. He replied softly, but silence from you, that breaks me. You open your mouth but no words came. What would you say? That his mother's words dug deeper than they should have? That being treated like a second-class family member had slowly worn you down? That you cried alone in the laundry room to keep Leo from seeing you? Instead you said, don't worry about me, really. Just focus on your meetings. We are okay. You always said that, and Jungkook always wanted to believe it. He studied your face. Let me see him. You tilted the phone towards Leo's sleeping figure. Jungkook's eyes softened further. He looks so peaceful. I hate being away from you too. I know. He waited a long time for this call. Fell asleep holding his drawing. Jungkook smiled sadly. I'll make it up to him. To both of you. You leaned your head back on the pillow, fatigue finally taking hold. You always say that. I mean it every time. You nodded, your eyes were fluttering closed. Rest, he whispered through the screen. I'll stay on until you fall asleep. You didn't respond. Sleep had already started pulling you under. You watched in silence as your breathing slowed. Your head slumped gently against the cushions. Leo curled into your side. The screen glowed faintly in the quiet room. Jungkook didn't hang up. He couldn't. He sat there, tired from his trip, eyes locked on the soft image of you and Leo. You were both curled up on the bed, your head resting lightly against Leo's, one arm cradling his small body like a shield. Even in sleep, you looked fragile, like something heavy was weighing on your heart. Jungkook exhaled quietly, leaning forward, resting his chin on his palm as he just watched. Time passed in silence, then Leo stirred. He blinked up groggily at the screen. His messy hair flopped into his eyes and he rubbed them with a tiny fist. And then he saw the glowing screen. Appa? Jungkook's heart swelled instantly. Hey buddy, he said warmly. Yeah, it's Appa. Leo sat up a little, rubbing his eyes. You look fuzzy, he pouted. Jungkook chuckled. That's the bad Wi-Fi, not me. I promise I didn't turn into a cloud. Leo giggled sleepily. You look tired. Yeah, work has been a bit crazy, but seeing your face helps a lot. Mommy and I made pancakes, Leo reported proudly. I flipped one and it fell on the floor. You what? Jungkook gasped in mock horror. Leo beamed, but she let me eat another one. Of course she did. She always lets you have the best ones. Leo nodded seriously, then yawned, nestling back into your side. Jungkook's eyes softened. You taking care of mommy while I'm away, little man? Leo's voice was slower now, softer. I tell her I love her lots, and I help her with stuff. Good. Jungkook said, watching the boy fondly. She needs that. You know she misses me too, right? Leo's brows furrowed slightly. He looked up at the screen, blinking again. She cries sometimes when you are not here. Jungkook's smile faltered, but he kept his voice gentle. She does? Why? Leo looked towards you, who was sleeping. Grandma says mean things. Mommy doesn't say anything. She just listens. What kind of things, Leo? Jungkook asked slowly. The boy's small fingers fidgeted with the edge of the blanket. She said mommy should be grateful to be here, that she's not good enough. Jungkook's brows furrowed, but he didn't speak yet. Leo kept going, his voice low. She tells mommy to stop spoiling me, that I'm already soft. She says it's mommy's fault. Jungkook's jaw clenched. Did mommy tell me any of this? He asked. Leo shook his head. She always says she's fine, but sometimes I see her cry when she's alone, like today. Today? Jungkook's heart dropped. Leo nodded. After Grandma shouted, Mommy stayed in the laundry room. She thought I wasn't watching, but I saw her wiping her eyes. Jungkook swallowed hard. Did she say anything? No, she just smiled when she saw me. She always smiles after she cries, Appa, like she wants me to think it's okay. Jungkook leaned forward, voice tighter. Leo, does this happen a lot? The little boy hesitated, then whispered, Sometimes, not every day, but Grandma doesn't like mommy. She talks down to her, and your mom just takes it. Jungkook asked, more to himself. Leo nodded. She says not to worry you, that you are busy. She says if we just stay quiet, everything will be okay. The boy looked up again, eyes heavy with sleep but serious. But I don't like it, Appa. I want mommy to be happy. Jungkook felt his heart clench. Me too, buddy. Me too. And I promise I'll make her. Promise you won't be mad at her for not telling you. Leo asked. I'm not mad at her. Jungkook said after a pause. I'm mad at myself for not seeing it sooner. Leo blinked at him. Will you come back soon? Jungkook smiled softly, but his eyes were dark with thought. Yeah, very soon. Will you make Grandma stop being mean? Jungkook's voice dropped into something cold, dangerous, but still gentle for his son. No one is ever going to treat your mommy like that again. Not if I'm here, not ever. Leo's eyes started to close again. Okay, I'll protect her too while you are away. I know you will. You are her little guardian angel. Jungkook exhaled slowly, not mad. No, he was furious, but not at Leo. His eyes dropped to you, fast asleep, still looking peaceful, though the tear streak barely visible against your cheek. Okay, buddy, you did good. Leo nodded half asleep. Night, Appa. Night, champ. I love you. The boy's breathing deepened. He was gone, but Jungkook stayed, watching the screen like it could offer him answers. Why hadn't you told him? Why did you endure that again? And why had he not seen it? He leaned forward. I'm sorry, love. You were trying to protect me and I should have been the one protecting you. He paused for some time before speaking again. You are not alone, not anymore, and I won't let anyone make you feel like you are. His jaw tightened and eyes were burning. I'm coming home. The morning sunlight stretched softly across the room, warm against your skin. You stirred awake on the bed, the tablet still resting nearby, screen black, call long disconnected. Leo was still curled up beside you, clutching his little stuffed bear. You sat up slowly, brushing his hair back, unaware of what had unfolded after you dozed off. Downstairs the house was already awake, the clinking of dishes, the sharp voice of Mrs. John slicing through the silence. You really ought to teach your son to stop throwing tantrums. This child needs structure, she said, standing at your door. You bit back a sigh and didn't reply. It was too early for battles. You carried Leo to his room, tucking him in as he mumbled something about Appa in his sleep, then went to the kitchen to help prepare breakfast. Mrs. John didn't spare you a glance. You didn't know that at the same moment Jungkook was already on a flight. He hadn't slept, not after hearing his son's sleepy whisper echo over the video call. Appa, mommy cried today. Grandma was mean again. Those words haunted him the whole night. He hadn't told you he was coming. You thought he would be gone another week. So when the doorbell rang just after noon, you weren't expecting it. You opened the door and froze. There he was, still in his travel-wrinkled clothes, dark eyes unreadable. Jungkook? You blinked, stunned. You didn't tell me? He stepped in without waiting. Where is Leo? In his room. He just fell asleep again. Wait, what's going on? Go upstairs, he said, voice quiet but firm. I need to speak with my mother. Your heart dropped. Now you were sure something happened. What? Why? But he was already walking past you, face unreadable, steps slow but deliberate. You turned to follow, pulse racing. Jungkook, please don't. I asked you one thing, to let me protect you, and you didn't even tell me. Your mouth opened to protest, then closed because you didn't know. You didn't know he knew. He stepped into the living room where Mrs. John sat with her tea, looking as composed and cold as ever. Mother, Jungkook said flatly. She looked up, barely masking her surprise. You are back early. Not early enough. We need to talk now. You froze by the stairs. She looked at you and then back at Jungkook. Jungkook? You tried again, but he held your gaze firmly. Go upstairs, baby, please. You didn't move. Mrs. John raised a brow. What happened? Why did you look different? What is this about? Jungkook's eyes didn't flinch. Because I'm mad. It's about how you speak to my wife. Your breath caught. She laughed, delicate and amused. What are you talking about? Leo told me last night, when you thought no one would ever know. That wiped the amusement off her face. Her jaw stiffened. What? What did he say? I didn't do anything. You made her feel small. You told her she wasn't good enough. You have been doing it for a while now, haven't you? Silence. Mrs. John's face paled. She must have misunderstood. She didn't say a word. Leo did. And suddenly she had nothing. You gripped the banister tightly, your throat dry. Jungkook exhaled hard and turned to you again, voice softer now. Go to Leo. I'll be up soon. You hesitated, but the look in his eyes wasn't just protective, it was furious. You nodded slowly and went upstairs. The room was heavy with silence after you disappeared upstairs. Jungkook stood in the center of the living room, fist clenched at his sides, jaw tight. Mrs. John said calmly, slowly placing her teacup down. You flew back just to reprimand your mother? Jungkook didn't answer immediately. His voice, when it came, was low and leveled. No, I flew back because my son told me his mother cried herself to sleep and I wasn't there to stop it. Her expression didn't falter. Children exaggerate. You know how sensitive Leo is. He's 5, Jungkook said coldly, and he was half asleep. That kind of truth doesn't come from imagination. Mrs. John folded her hands in her lap. I have never raised a hand to her. I simply speak plainly. If she is hurt by that, perhaps she is not strong enough to. Stop. Jungkook's voice cracked like a whip. You don't get to dress cruelty up as plain talk. You don't get to hide behind tradition and call it love. She tilted her head, frowning. And what about you? You married a woman beneath your station, who brought a child into the world with no name. Enough, he growled. Don't you dare speak about her like that. Mrs. John's mouth opened in disbelief, but Jungkook's gaze only darkened. I've watched her shrink in this house, smile less, talk less, flinch when you so much as look at her. You think I didn't notice? He stepped forward, but I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I told myself it was just a matter of time that you would grow to accept her. But now I see what I should have from the beginning. You never intended to make room for her. You only ever wanted her to feel like a guest in her own home. She doesn't belong here. She belongs with me, and that makes this her home more than I'll ever be yours again if you keep this up. Mrs. John's breath hissed, subtle but sharp. Jungkook ran a hand through his hair, his voice turning pain. I asked her to marry me because she's the only person who has ever loved me without expecting something in return. She carried my child when I didn't even know I deserved a family. He looked away briefly, trying to reel himself in. I missed out on so much already. I'm not going to miss this too because you can't swallow your pride. She stood now too, brows drawn tighter. So what? You'll choose her over your own blood? I already did, he said simply. The moment I fell in love with her, the moment she became the mother of my son, the moment she kept quiet to protect your image, even when you tore her down. A pause, he looked her in the eye. You should be ashamed, Omma. His mother's lips trembled for just a breath. Her pride didn't let her speak. Jungkook took a step back. We are staying in this house until I figure out what's next. But if I hear one more word that makes her feel like less, I'll make sure you don't see your grandson again until he's old enough to decide for himself. With that, he turned and walked away, leaving silence in his wake. The door clicked softly, your heart dropped. You were already sitting on the edge of the bed, fingers twisted together in your lap, heart thudding like a drumbeat in a quiet church. He walked in, slow and deliberate, closing the door behind him. He looked at Leo, who was still sleeping peacefully. You looked down, feeling the guilt claw its way up. Jungkook, you should have told me, he said softly, walking closer. From the very beginning. You exhaled shakily. I didn't want to worry you. You were already doing so much, and it's your mother. I didn't want to. Don't. He cut in gently but firmly, kneeling by the bed. Don't protect people who hurt you, not even from me. You blinked fast, fighting the tears rising again. She's your mother, you whispered, and you are my wife. He said, eyes locked on yours. That means something to me, to Leo, and it should mean something to her, too. You looked down at your hands, trying to hold yourself together. She said I wasn't enough for you, that I'd always just be the woman you settled for. Jungkook reached up, took your hands in his. Then she never knew me at all. Leo stood beside you, his eyes fluttered open slowly, a sleepy groan slipping from his lips. Then, Appa? Jungkook smiled, warmth finally breaking through his storm. Hey buddy. Leo shot up, scrambling into his father's arms. You came back. Of course I did. Jungkook hugged him tightly. You think I would miss morning cuddles? Leo pulled back, squinting. Did you scold Grandma? You froze. Jungkook's eyes flickered up to meet yours before softening for his son. We talked. Grown-up talk. She's not nice to mommy, Leo said with a pout. She always says mean things. She thinks I don't hear, but I do. Jungkook tugged his son closer. It's not your job to listen to that or carry it. I told you because mommy didn't. She never tells you when she's sad. You swallowed hard, eyes filling again. Jungkook kissed Leo's head, then looked at you. Thank you for telling me, Leo. He turned his gaze to you again, voice soft but heavy. I'm sorry for not being here, for not seeing it sooner. You shook your head. You had no way of knowing. I should have known. You hide your pain too well, and I got too used to letting you carry it alone. You felt the tears spill now, silent and slow. Jungkook reached up, brushing them away. I love you, and I hate that you ever felt like you had to earn your place here. He stood and sat beside you on the bed, pulling both of you and Leo into his arms, a family pressed together. Leo hummed happily in the middle, yawning into your shoulder. Can we stay like this forever? Jungkook chuckled softly. Yeah, buddy, we can. You didn't speak, but in the silence, everything you needed to say found its place in the way you leaned into him, safe again.